All right, Shalom. First and foremost, I want to give all praises to YAHAWAH, BASHIM, YAHAWASHI, BASHIM, Rakak Wadash. Double honors to the elders and apostles of Great Millstone, and peace and blessings to the whole fact of Israel. And what I have here pulled up here is it's a super soldier program called Spartan. All right, and this super soldier program, comes from a video game, called Halo, which is on the Xbox. All right, and pretty much the short narrative of this the game Halo is the Earth was in danger of an alien race called the Covenant, right? And in response to the Earth being in danger of pretty much an alien takeover, all right, by the Covenant, right, was that the nations of the world came together and came about with super soldier programs, okay, to fight against the aliens, okay, which, going into biblical context, is talking about the angels, okay. And through Spirit and Power, YAHAWASHI did a lesson earlier this morning, about the nations literally announcing that they've been working on super soldier programs, okay, and that involves this RFID chip technology, okay, making humans more like robots, okay, because again, understanding that the powers of evil are at war with the powers of good. All right, so what I mean, Esau Edom, he's trying to make angels on the left hand side, okay, and that's going to be via his robots, okay, taking man and making them perfect on the left hand side, okay. That's why he want to take away your God gene, all right, so on and so forth, because he wants to be like God on the planet Earth. All right, but that's not going to be the case. But he's going to try to go with the fight. Okay, he's not going to go down unless he has. He's not going to go down without a fight. Okay, ultimately the Lord's going to put His Spirit upon him. But not to remember before I get too much into it. But this is all again going into biblical prophecy. All right. So let me just get into it. Revelation chapter 12, and I'll start at verse 7. And there was war in heaven. Michael and his angels fought against the dragon, and the dragon fought and his angels. All right, so the war in heaven is not going to take place in the spiritual realm. It's going to take place here in this physical realm. All right, going into outer space and here on land. Okay, so Michael and his angels going into, all right, the righteous angels. Okay, just like you have the archangels Michael, Uriel, Gabriel, all right, and Raphael, and then the ultimate angel being Yahawashi. Okay, who the world really calls Jesus Christ. Okay. So the Heavenly Father, Yahweh, who the world really calls God, he's declaring war by sending his son. Okay, so when he sends his son, it's going to be a fight. It's going to be a battle. Okay, because Yahawashi said himself, all right, I've come not to bring peace. Okay, he's coming to take back what is his, being the earth. Okay, so it's going to be a war over that. I say, and the dragon fought, and his angels going into the military. All right, the military of the earth. Okay, and the head of that being the military of the so-called white man Esau Edom. Okay, which is the greatest military ever to be established to this time. Okay, which is going to be triumphed when the Lord raises up his men. Okay, in an instant. But that's why now this devil has space programs. He has Space Force. Okay, again going to super soldier programs, because again they have to be able to have a fighting chance against the Lord. They're gonna have to what? Step up their game. Okay, but I'm gonna keep on reading. It's gonna be pretty much in vain. It's verse 8. It says, and prevailed not, neither was their place found any more in heaven. So going into because I'm reading to this article, it says which let me just get it. All right, but ultimately they prevailed not. Okay, so it's not gonna be a Hollywood ending, all right, to defeat this so-called alien invasion. Okay, what's gonna happen is the devil is going to lose, and the kingdom of heaven is going to be established here on the planet Earth. Okay, and it belongs unto you so-called Negroes, Latinos, and Native Americans, who are the true people of the Most High, YAHAWASHI. All right, but it says here, Spartans or Spartan programs are members of a series of United Nations Space Command projects designed to create physically, genetically, technologically, and mentally superior super soldiers as special fighting units. Okay, so as you see here, it says United Nations. So nations came together to fight against the Lord. Okay, read that in 2 Kings 13th chapter. Okay, they're gonna be fighting against each other. All right, and in World War III, they're gonna what? Turn and fight against the Lord. Okay, make war with him that sat on the horse. All right, the white horse being, all right, him that sits on the white horse going into YAHAWASHI. Okay, and white pretty much meaning pure, and the horse represents power. Okay, but it says United Nations Space Command. So again, the dragon. Okay, the beast. All right, you have the NATO and the EU. Okay, and then the horse sits on top of the beast, being so-called America. They're gonna make war against the Lord. Okay, and also the kings of the earth too. Okay, going into Moab. Okay, Ammon. These other nations are going to fight against the Lord as well. Okay, but they're not going to prevail. Okay, it says I'll skip through the point. But it's pretty much going into, again, the narrative. They're raising up to fight against the covenant. Okay, the people of the covenant. Okay, the people of the covenant are the Israelites. Okay, because I can get some real quick. I had it up here. So here this is Exodus 34:27. It says, "And the Lord YAHAWASHI said unto Moses, Write thou these words, for after the tenor of these words I have made a covenant with thee and with Israel." So we're the people of the covenant. Okay, so we're the covenant. Okay, all right, verse 28. It says, "And he was there with the Lord YAHAWASHI 40 days and 40 nights, and he did neither eat bread nor drink water, and he wrote upon the tablets the words of the covenant, the 10 Commandments." All right, so obviously there's more than 10 Commandments, but going to the story is that the covenant was made with Israel. Okay, so-called Negroes, Latinos, and the Americans are the promise. All right, was given to us. The promise of what? The kingdom. All right, us receiving the promises of the Lord. All right, new bodies. All right, and everything the Lord, again, promised us. Okay, authority, dominion. All right, rulership. All right, and slaves. Okay, the fast on the earth. All right, again, going to the blessing of Jacob, which later name was turned to Israel. All right, but we're the people of the covenant. So that's what ultimately Esau is going to fight against. All right, us. All right, and the shameful part is that going into Esau's super soldiers, okay, devil super soldiers, he's gonna use our people. Okay, a lot of our people are in the military. All right, because Jacob's already super without this technology. All right, so imagine when you look at Jake, playing in professional sports, they can jump higher, run faster. Okay, and they're gonna what? Be used to fight against the Lord. Okay, which is their savior. Okay, which is going to be going into that everlasting shame and content. But here, going into a little bit of the covenant, okay, the human covenant war, all right, this is a holy war, okay, but that's what's happening. Holy war has been declared on planet Earth, okay, and I'm not going to get into too much to plot the story because, of course, they go off, all right, but here it says the covenant, the human covenant war, also known as the covenant war, the covenant, human covenant conflict, and the Great War was a major interstellar conflict pitting humanity and its United Nations Space Command against the covenant, during the mid-26th century, because these are things, he has more time in what he does. That's why Revelation 12:12 says what it says, because he knows he have but a short time. He's going to come down with great wrath, okay? He doesn't have that much time, okay? But it goes into the flood. This is high charity, all right? Which I think high charity is pretty much a sanctuary, all right, of the covenant. It's called high charity, or like a major city. I'm not sure exactly the whole plot story, but this one point I remember here. It says the war was instigated by the high prophets, okay? So the prophets, pretty much the heralds, telling you about what's getting ready to come to pass, okay? Declaring war, okay? Through spirit power YAHAWASHI against this wicked world, okay? So that's why when the prophets are on the scene is a declaration, okay? That the Lord's going to make judgment. And the judgment is that this world is going to be judged. So go ahead and Esau Edom. He's going to be taken out of power and thrown into slavery, and as well as your other heathen nations. Okay, and 2/3 of our own people, which, to their shame, they're going to be put to death here in this time too, because they join hand in hand with the wicked. All right, but hey, they'll be in the kingdom, but again, that everlasting shame and content. But that was pretty much the point. You can probably go into this more. All right, here you see word insurrection. Again, this is all going to this inspiration comes from the scriptures. All right. It says your destruction is the will of the gods, all right, and we are their instruments. It says the covenant's declaration of war, okay, and again, this is not fairy tale stuff, okay. This is all going to happen in real time and very, very soon, okay. And of course, Lord's will, we say we be a part of the number, going into the Lord's army, okay. He's raising up an army, okay, like says in Psalms 50, all right, how it's kept silent, all right. He's gonna pretty much going into also Ezekiel 37 chapter about the Lord raising up a great army, All right, we were dead, but now we're alive. All right. Here's Psalm 50 and 21. These things thou hast done, and I have kept silence. Okay, so all this wickedness this devil's been doing upon the planet Earth, the Lord has been holding his peace, holding his tongue. Okay, because there's a point in time where he's going to execute his wrath. Okay, us going to slavery. All right, what he's been doing still today in this time. All right, destroying the earth. Okay, not upholding the righteousness of YAHAWASHI. All right, just being a devil and a liar, and ultimately exalting himself against the Lord. Okay, he's doing all these things, and the Lord's kept silence. But what? For thou thoughtest that I was altogether such as one as thyself. That's why license plate says, "In God we trust." Okay, because this devil thinks the Lord was with him. Okay, going to manifest destiny. All right, it was the will of God. All right, that he was taking over and destroying the so-called Native Americans. All right, taking their land. Okay, by violence. All right, ultimately the Lord allowed him to do that, but it wasn't to be at the end in the so-called man's favor. Okay, it was ultimately to be witnessed against him. All right, because of what he did against the Lord's people. All right, to this day, has them on reservations. Okay, but I will reprove thee and set them in order before thine eyes. So again, the Lord raising up an army. Okay, an army of men. All right, but staying on plot with the the super soldiers. They're definitely going to be using these last days, because this devil has to use all his trick bags, all right, in order to preserve his kingdom. That's why it says that whoever shall save his life shall lose it. Okay, this man's getting ready to lose everything, all right, in an instant. All right, but I don't want to lose my train of thought. I can probably get 2 13. All right, 2 13 and yeah, 2 13, and I'll start at because I want to get to the point. I'll just start from 3. 2 13 and 3 says, "And I beheld, and lo, that man waxed strong with the thousands of heaven." Okay, who's that man? Talking about YAHAWASHI. Okay, the thousands of heaven going into the army, the Lord of hosts. Okay, and when he turned his countenance to look, all things trembled that were seen under him. Okay, because that's the power that he's received from the Father. Okay, and it's getting ready to manifest here in this realm on the planet Earth when he returns. Okay, now verse 4 says, "And whensoever the voice went out of his mouth, all they burned that heard his voice." All right, like as the earth faileth when it feeleth the fire. Okay, because the Lord says he's going to plead with all flesh. All right, pretty much with the sword. Okay, all right, by fire. Okay, it says, "And after this I beheld, and lo, there was gathered together a multitude of men out of number from the four winds of the heaven to subdue the men that came out of the earth, of the sea." Okay, so going into the nations coming up and try to fight against the Lord, in the chariots. Okay, it says verse 6, it says, "But I beheld, and lo, he had graven himself a great mound and flew upon it." Again, going into the Father's ship. Okay, a ship bigger than the entire planet Earth. Okay, that's what the so-called man's gonna try to fight against. Okay, that's why I was going to say thy pride has deceived thee. Verse 7, "But I would have seen the region or place whereout the hill was graven, and I could not. So the chariot was so big, he thought it was a mountain, and try to find the beginning of it. Pretty much the edge of the chariot. He couldn't see it because it was so big." Okay. It says verse 8, "And after this I beheld, and lo, all they which were gathered together to subdue the men were so afraid, and yet there's fight." So, the other nations, their armies, they're gonna be scared, but they're gonna still fight. Okay, because the Lord's gonna put the Spirit on them. All right, to pretty much give the Lord a great show. Okay, So continuing verse 9, "And lo, as he saw the violence of the multitude that came, he neither lifted up his hand nor his sword, nor held sword nor an instrument of war." All right, so he didn't have a gun. Okay, he didn't have a RPG. Okay, he just had the word. Okay, the will. Okay, which he is the word. Okay, the word that had the Father Yahweh. Okay, this is verse 10. Okay, this is verse 10. "Only I saw that went out of his mouth as it had been a blast of fire." Okay, so laser beams. Okay, all right, concentrated fire. "And out of his lips a flaming breath, and out of his tongue he cast out sparks and tempests." Okay, spiritual powers. Okay, verse 11, "And they were mixed. They were all mixed together. The blast of fire, the flaming breath, and a great tempest. and fell with violence upon the multitude which was prepared to fight, and burned them up every one, so that upon a sudden and of an innumerable multitude nothing was to be perceived. So everything was just burnt up, okay, like a mesh, okay, of piles of was once an army of people, military tanks, spaceships, all right, fighter jets, submarines, you name it, okay, battleships, all burnt together, okay, but only dust, but only, yes, so nothing was to be perceived, but only dust and smell of smoke. When I saw this, I was afraid. Okay, it was a great destruction. Okay, it's gonna be very, very quick and rapid. Okay, but trying to lose traction here. I think here Revelation, is it 19, about them trying to fight against the Lord. I didn't even move here. I think my phone's gonna die soon too. Yeah, this is a Revelation 19:11. It says, I saw heaven open, and behold, a white horse. And he that sat upon him was called faithful and true, and in righteousness doeth he judge and make war. So war is being made, declared against this wicked world. Okay, again, verse 12, and his eyes were as a flame of fire, and on his head were many crowns. So, not literally many crowns on his head, but going to him, subduing the nations. Okay, and he had a name written that no man knew but he himself. At verse 13, and he was clothed with the vesture dipped in blood, and his name is called the Word of the Most High. Right, and the armies which were in heaven followed him upon white horses, clothed in fine linen, white and clean. So going to the armies, this so-called UFOs. All right, it says, out of his mouth goeth a sharp sword. Right, there you go. That with it he should smite the nations, and he shall rule them with a rod of iron, and he treadeth upon the right press of the fierceness of the wrath of the Almighty power. Okay, I just read about that quote. That the covenant here says, what was it? It says, your destruction is the will of the gods, all right, the Elohim, and we are their instruments. Okay, the Lord making us his battle axe, weapons of war. Okay, raising up that army. All right, hunters, fishers being turned to hunters. It says, verse 16. It says, and he had on his vesture and on his thigh a name written, King of Kings and Lord of Lords. And I saw an angel standing in the sun, cried a loud voice, all right, saying with all the fowls, going into that great feast. Okay, that's why you see a lot of vultures and ravens flying around, because there's going to be a lot of death coming real soon. Okay, that's why it's going to say, I think it's in Job, it says, ask the birds and they shall tell you, if we're paraphrasing. Okay, they know what's up. Okay, because the Lord promised them a great feast. All right, it says verse 19, and I saw the beast and the kings of the earth. So there you go, the beast and the kings of the earth, these armies, just in their armies, there you go, gathered together to make war against him that sat on the horse and against his army. Okay, so that's again talking about the same thing. All right, verse 20, and the beast was taken, and with him the false prophet, okay, that wrought miracles before him. Okay, so right now you have the false prophet is the Roman Catholic Church, going into stemming into all the modern day religions today. You have Christianity, Islam, so on and so forth. And the miracles they're going to rock is, again, this super soldier stuff, okay? This RVD chip technology, okay? Going to be able to heal people, all right? And it's all going to be temporary, because you're going to get that grievous sore, okay? The same with the vaccination, okay? You're going to get a grievous sore too, shoot. Okay, people are already getting palsy, okay? And what more after in the long-term effects, okay? That's short-term effects, all right? And that's ultimately what happens when you don't fear the Lord, okay? Have faith in him, okay? You be made in a bad example of, all right? It says, with which he deceived them that had received the mark of the beast. There you go. Okay. He deceived you. Okay. All right. Because going into so go ahead, man, Esau, Edom. Okay. Because you're going to spiritual demon saying, okay, that's why it tells you in Second Thessalonians 9th chapter. It's not Second Thessalonians 2nd chapter, the 9th verse. It says, he whom is after the working of Satan. Okay. This man works for the devil. Okay. And ultimately the devil, all right, the spiritual demon saying works for the Lord. Okay. So that's why I should say the deceive and deceiver are his. All right, but continues, and them that worship his image, these were both cast alive into a lake of burning. These both were cast alive into a lake of fire burning with brimstone. So these thermonuclear missiles, all right, are coming. All right, especially the so-called America, because this place is promised to be left never inhabited again. Okay, utterly burnt from east to west. with these thermonuclear missiles. Okay, I'm gonna close out here before my phone dies. All right, but it says saints take. All right, but it says here, this is Daniel 7:18. It says, but the saints of the Most High shall take the kingdom and possess the kingdom forever and ever. It's like a kingdom forever, even forever. Okay, right. So again, going to the four beasts, teeth of iron, going to this devil's military. All right, this place is going to be subdued. Okay, by again our chief. All right, chief captain. Okay, YAHAWASHI. Okay, and ultimately, Lord's will, we get a piece of that action when the Lord raises us up too. This devil got super soldiers. How much more the Lord? Okay, YAHAWASHI has super soldiers too. Okay, he's getting ready to activate them real soon. Lord's will again be part of that number. So with that, Lord's will be edifying. As always, we give praise. As always, we give our praises to Abba Shai, Abba Shem, Kawadash, the born to devils and impossible. Millstone, peace and blessings over. Hopefully, like the Israel Shalom.